I'm coming up. I'm coming up. Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by to say, hey, come on. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. We're taking over. We're taking over. We're made to win. Yeah, yeah. Say what we made for. We're made for this. Yeah, yeah. Hey, say it. We're made to win. Say we're made to win. We're made to win. Hey, hey. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. We're taking over. We're made to win. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over.
Lights fall in the golden city. Fire's out and the water's gone black. You can run, but you won't get pity. Ash to dust will get you back. Tomorrow we will rise.
Hello everyone and welcome back to ESL Impact. 3 weeks of action have already hit your screens. That means we're now right into the middle of things, Brandon. The bracket's shaping up, everything is playing out, and there's a lot of excitement still to come.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the games that sort of make or break your season. Every result counts, and you have to put up or shut up, because we are approaching the time where teams will start to form and break out from the pack, and teams will be looking to get a victory to throw their name into conversations. This is the exciting part of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. We can take a look at the standings as they are at the moment, because we do have one of those breakout teams that will be playing today. That's here in Group A. We have DMS, who are currently sitting 2-0, top of Group A alongside Imperial Valkyries. And CS2News Ladies, their opposition tonight is down 0-2 alongside Let Her Cook, which I think is a bit of a surprise. And then in the middle, we have 2-1-1 teams. So a very mirrored bracket here in Group A. Not so the case in Group B, however. That's a little bit more, I think, wide open, I would say.
Yeah, we can take a look at Group B and see that NIP sits on top of the pile, but 4 teams have got 1 win next to their name, with this Big Keeper versus Akuma going on the community broadcast today. And that is a, I won't say group decider, but that I think really puts a spanner in the works for either Bigger Keeper or Akuma for the rest of their journey here this season.
Yeah, it's just so many dangerous teams, right? For Bigger Keeper, that's a massive win because they've already got NIP game out of the way, so they'll feel like, okay, maybe we can scrape through here. Remember, top 3 teams from each group stick around. Top team goes straight to the LAN finals, and then the next 2 play the second and third of the other group to decide the final spots. But anyway, let's focus in on what we've got coming up today, Brandon, because as mentioned, we've got that Group A game coming up on your screens. CS2News Ladies versus DMS. South America, the Killaz versus QUEM SAO ELAS. I know that we were actually a little bit on the fence about some of these later games. I feel like they could go either way. And blackmold versus Lumen is very much the same. blackmold have been on quite the tear this season so far.
Yeah, they have been, but now they've got, I think, one of the bigger tests in North America. That Lumen game is going to be a real test of blackmold. We can really see where they're at, and I'm excited to sort of catch all the action later. As mentioned as well, we have got community broadcasts. So these are all the games that are not being played on this stream. Make sure you go and check them out. And as soon as we know the results of those games, we'll give you little score updates as we're going through our one.
Absolutely. So let's now focus in on CS2News Ladies versus DMS. In terms of the veto for these two teams, I think what makes me excited about the potential here is, well, first off, Nuke and Inferno aren't played by either of these teams, so those won't come through. But I've seen that CS2News Ladies have picked into Train before, so we could see the Train pick come through, and that could be a fun punish versus DMS.
Potentially. I think now's a good time to mention that CS2News Ladies tonight aren't playing with Margot. They're playing with Fatal. So maybe you don't want to lean into Train if you're playing with a stand-in. Although, do you know what? It still could be quite a fun punish. I think DMS more than likely to maybe float Ancient, leave that towards the end, and see if CS2News Ladies pick into it. They have actually gone for that Train pick. DMS go, okay, here's the fallback. We'll just go to Ancient. A very good map for them. And a decider, I'm leaning more towards Anubis, but it could end up on something puggy.
I feel Mirage is maybe a likelihood. CS2News Ladies probably want to go there, but DMS deny it. We go to Dust 2 instead. I think if it gets to that point, it probably is a little bit more up in the air. But this entire game, this entire series, to me, hinges on this Train, because DMS, we've seen them on Ancient so far. They've looked incredible. We've not seen them on Train, and that's going to be a really, really exciting place to start this best of three.
Well, look, they ban Nuke because a lot of teams in the Women's League will just ban Nuke anyway. So having Train, knowing that it can be there, means that they should have done prep work on it. I actually look at Kitsuna, and I think this is a really good map for Kitsuna, even though I've never seen her play on it. I just think her style of AWPing will elevate this team quite a lot. And then you've got really aggro rifles in Sostia, and then Averona can pick up the pieces. So, do you know what? Train, it's a double-edged sword, because you pick into this, it's like, okay, you better win it if you're CS2News Ladies, because otherwise you're going to be in hot water. Ancient's a fine one. We know that CS2News Ladies like to play this a lot, but it's a really strong map for DMS. So this is going to be a bit tricky, I think, if Train doesn't go their way.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the standard situation certainly isn't going to help affairs, because Margot has been essentially their best player. You said this before we kind of went live, that she's been the star for them, and missing that player is going to make it a bit of a struggle. So we'll see how they can adapt with Fatal. Certainly experience coming in. But for DMS, you know, we can talk about how insane this team has been this season, because we've seen 2 series from them so far. Obviously, the big storyline for them is the addition of both Sostia and Kitsuna coming across from that K27 Dreamcatchers lineup, joining up with the Spirit Core. And look at the first kill percentage. So it's the amount of rounds they get the first kill, and then the amount of rounds after they get an opener that they successfully convert. 84.8%. That is a brilliant 5v4 conversion rate.
It speaks to the amount of, I think, fundamental work that has gone offline as well for Jammy, and just making sure that the core is up to scratch, and then deploying the extreme catchers players into positions to find opening kills. Because we can take a look at this graphic, and it's going to show that Kitsuna and Sostia, they're the ones mostly going for these opening kill attempts. The fact that it is 60% of opening kills being distributed across 2 different players, the fact that you can flex the AWP when you've got it, and if Kitsuna's got a spawn, versus Sostia being really aggro, taking up sort of Wayne's roles, as you were saying before we went live. And that's what Wayne used to do on Dreamcatchers. Like, it's really interesting to see how much they go for them. Sostia's about 50-50. Kitsuna, more often than not, is getting that opening kill.
Yeah, I mean, the AWP does help you out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think I was interested in this stat just because it's the 2 new additions that make up the majority of the opening attempts, right? You know, when you've got a core that you're already working with your IGL, Jammy's now not taking as many opening attempts, and you've got Averona a bit more as a closer. So it seems to be working really well for them so far. I was just really surprised that Sostia was so aggressive, because I feel like when we used to watch Dreamcatchers, I didn't feel like Sostia was this crazy, you know, opening duelist. But again, I guess it's just this shift into a different team, taking up some different roles, and she's thriving in them. Yeah,
it's interesting, because you think about the way that Sostia was in Dreamcatchers, took up very similar responsibilities to what Ulis does in this team. You wondered, okay, who's going to flip and sort of take the pressure? And it feels like they might have tested both, but also just having the core being in the roles that they're comfortable in, I think makes the transition from adding new players a lot easier to maintain. And it's working out really well for DMS so far. And we'll have to see sort of how it pans out across the season. We'll get a good selection and sample size of it here against CS2News Ladies as well.
Yeah, and on the same topic, we got to lock in on our Kadia player to watch, Brandon, which actually does happen to be, of course, Sostia, who has, really lit up the servers for DMS. We were really impressed with her towards the end of last season. Particularly, I felt that when it went to LAN, she was the player that transitioned best into that environment for that Dreamcatchers squad. And yeah, it's really good to see her in a strong team this year. And I actually almost feel like DMS this year, this season, feel like a team with a lot more momentum and a lot more hype around them than Dreamcatchers did. And I'm really, really happy to see Sostia and Kitsuna find their home here.
Really, you think? I think that's an interesting discussion point, because obviously Dreamcatchers had that really good run in Trade It. They took Imperial to free maps. So it was like overtime in D2. I can see where you're coming from, but I'm not there yet. I'm willing to see a little bit more. I think if this is clean today, especially with the train little curveball thrown in by CS2News Ladies, then perhaps we can start. I might be leaning more towards where you're going with that, but I think for now, we can take what it is at face value, which is DMS have got off to a really strong start. They've been working really hard. It looks like they're still together in the DMS facilities of boot camp, which goes a long way, especially in the Impact season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you really want to start strong and build that relationship, right, between your team, the synergies, because, I think a lot about this team, because it's not just Sostia and Kitsuna, it's Averona being an absolute beast. ELAS in particular, I was blown away last series by how well she played. Like, she was lights out versus Let Her Cook. Sprain Slay, it was Let Her Cook the game before that. It's been really cool seeing all these pieces come together.
Yeah, that's definitely a player I want to talk about in more detail a little bit later on. We can go ahead and talk about their opposition, the CS2News Ladies, as well, because like Emo Core, do you know what, Lucy, I want you to take Emo Core because I know that she's your favorite player name.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I vibe with this so hard. Like, Emo Core, that's just bad, man. That's so good. Like, bad in a good way, Like, I just rate it. Like, what else can you say? I mean, she's been playing pretty well. Obviously, these stats with 2 losses. Keep that in mind. They haven't picked up a win yet.
Yeah.
A loss to Sprain Slay and a loss to Prototype Blaze. Actually, that Prototype Blaze game, they could have won that. That last map was a full 24-rounder. I think Abitka's been good to see back in the server. Obviously, we saw her back with, what's that squad? That's the picture there with the cool jerseys.
One Wing Gang.
One Wing Gang, yes. The cool video, yeah. She's been pretty good, but I think the real star of this team, outside Margot, obviously, who's sadly not playing today, has been Vispel. I think she's been really solid for them, and I think the win condition for me today with these News Ladies is Vispel popping off.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I remember watching Vispel in some of the other ESL Impact seasons and been pretty impressed with how well she's been doing. The fact that we got Fatal here as well is really exciting, because when we had all these roster shuffles, I thought Fatal was one of the best players to look at in being picked up, but unfortunately hasn't been so far. And the fact that she can stand in and be a super sub is very prevalent. We've got to talk about the second half Fatal effect as well, where in the second half she just pops off every single time. So that'd be interesting to see just how it develops, and also how much time she had to really practice, and how long has this sort of been known about, well, we need a stand in, let's get Fatal in, and let's have a little bit of work.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like there might be some synergy here between Stormy and Fatal, but I actually don't know if their time on No Fear 5 ever overlapped, because I remember both of them played on that roster at different points, kind of very early, maybe even just pre-ESL Impact, because No Fear 5 were kind of that team that was, top 3 in Europe before ESL Impact sort of kicked off, and we got to see a stronger development of the region. And yeah, I know these two players have definitely been around for some time, so at least they bring some experience. And when you've got that combination, you've got 2 players that have been around 5, 6, 7 years playing a professional Counter-Strike, and then you've got 3 pretty new players in the mix. I really like that balance. So this Vispel stats 1.16. She's gonna have a work cut out for her, I feel, here against Kitsuna, though, because Kitsuna is like the upcoming prodigy AWP that has just blown us away the last 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult. But look, Fatal also played with Kitsuna and Sostia, so she knows what to expect from them. So maybe there's a little bit of just sort of intel that she can provide, like, oh, careful, like this will be this will be potentially where they want to go throughout. But obviously, Sosha's roles changed slightly, so that's a little bit outdated now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Brandon, in terms of where we think this is going, I think I've kind of made my bias a little bit clear as to which team I think is going to take this. I've been backing them kind of all season. I think that I'm very excited for this team. I want to keep watching them. I can't wait till they play Imperial. I think DMS take this. I think it's going to be a 2-0. I don't think the Train's going to catch them off guard. I think they've got enough firepower, and you know they're not been banning Train. You know it's in their back pocket. We just finally get to see it today.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think DMS are going to take this one quite simply. They're 2-0. CS2News Ladies are 0-2. And CS2News Ladies struggled a little bit against Spray and Slay. And DMS made light work of them in last week's broadcast. So I think DMS should be taking it. I am interested in seeing the Train, though, because you're right. I don't think it will catch them off guard. But it'll be interesting to sort of see how they're working on the server, especially with a newer map. We can't call it a new map now because it's been in the pool for about 3-4 months.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, we haven't seen it that much this season yet, really. I think we've only had it once in the broadcast, right? Last week. So, yeah, excited to have more opportunities for Train to be on the screen. And I think that this is, you know, going to be a good bit of information for us to see how DMS play it, because we know it's going to be maybe in the veto in the Imperial game when that comes up, because Imperial aren't banning it, but both these teams kind of floating it. And I like that so many teams are floating it, because it does give opportunities for some of these underdog squads like CS2News Ladies to pick into it and try and punish a team that's not, you know, maining this map.
Yeah, I'm thinking about DMS and how aggressive they have actually been from season to season. We speak about that graphic, but it's interesting. Like, are they going to take A main? How much prioritization is going to be on Ivy? Like, I imagine it will be one of Ulis and Sosha taking up Ivy, and then the other one will be on B. I imagine Ulis will be on B, Sosha will be probably towards Ivy, and then you can have therefore like a bit of an anchor player in that position, but you've also got then the freedom to go and explore it. I really think teams underutilize Ivy a lot in Train, and it'll be interesting to see if the CT side will just start of adapting that and taking that rather than just your A main hit and your pop hit. Like, I feel like there's definitely an option there to take more control away. Just teams haven't really been doing it.
Yeah, I think Sosha really does suit that position. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I do expect, I mean, that's kind of been the meta from what I've watched of Train at the top level. It's been taking full control of A main, denying that space for the Ts. Although I watched the game earlier between Mouse and Falcons, and that was not at all what I'd seen from other teams. So it just feels like maybe some teams just vary up their approach to it. But yeah, I think there's a lot you can do, a lot of innovation you can take to it, as you mentioned, and the way Pop Dog plays, you know, pushing up dog, very important to get that control on either side. We see CTs taking full control of up dog. We see, you know, come on.
It's such a bad call.
I got Machine to say it on
yeah,
Pro League.
I know you did.
Trying to make
literally
up dog happen.
the day after you did the joke, you were like, wait till I do it and then you can do it.
Yeah. Now up dog's a thing. I'll go a slight delay before we get in, guys, but we shouldn't be too long. Yeah, what's your prediction on the other series then, Brandon? Who do you think is taking that Akuma be a keeper game?
Should be bigger
actually
keeper.
mentioned? Yeah. You think Akuma could upset?
Yeah, look, there's every chance. I think it will be close, but I don't know. I think bigger keeper, their firepower, Hanka, Zana, and then in games like those, Jenny's really good at just sort of being able to exploit timings that I don't think Akuma will be ready for. So I think bigger keeper have got that one in the bag personally, but I don't think it's going to be like a clear cut, like a smash. I think it will be like a free map affair.
Yeah, I'm really sad to see like Angelica versus Hanka. Obviously, Lady's also there, but to me, Angelica and Hanka were kind of like two peas in a pod, you know, for so long on that Na'Vi roster. And like, I think they were kind of the star riflers of that team, and now they're kind of going up against each other. And it's a little bit bittersweet. As much as I love the addition of Hanka to Vicky Kiefer, she obviously elevates that team to whole new heights. It's still a little sad to see, you know, such a strong team slowly split up and go their separate ways. No,
I know. It's one of those where the thing is, though, sometimes change will be good for those players, especially for the likes of Na'Vi Javelins, who came second so many damn times in the grand finals. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's time to maybe go our separate ways a little bit. I think the Hanker addition to Big, as you said, will definitely elevate that team. It's just whether Big can improve off of a semi-final performance, if they can even make it to the LAN finals in the first instance. We've got to kind of get there first. That's the danger, and that's the danger of even losing one game in the groups. It's like NIP, it's now technically their group to lose because they've beaten a Big Keeper, they've beaten a
through that teams like CS2 News can come through and punish. And it was a team effort across the board. Stormy a quieter one, but she's obviously anchoring it up. I think Fatal was the actual, obviously Abika and Imoko were fantastic, but Fatal as a stand-in coming through, 21 frags, brilliant.
Yeah, I think she was brilliant as well because she had a really good understanding of what was needed from her. She was dropping all of her utility and she was staying alive. More importantly, you give Fatal a chance to multi-kill and obviously she will deliver, but the fact that she was deploying her utility at correct times, giving your team a lot of solid foundation is essential, as you said, especially from a team that is a little bit more unexperienced, especially from a team that is still sort of on their journey to finding their feet in ESL Impact in this season. Fatal gives an awful lot to this squad and is valuable everywhere, which is why I was really surprised that she wasn't picked up by anyone.
Yeah, but maybe this is an opportunity for her to get scouted for a future team because, yeah, she's always been one of those players that's just been a rock for any team that she can be in. And obviously she was IGLing on the Dreamcatchers lineup, and I think definitely that did impact her fragging output. But, yeah, she's still got it, as she showed here on Train. But, yeah, it was a huge team effort from CS2News Ladies. They clearly looked like the team that had the most comfort here on Train. There were two players, Brandon, you wanted to particularly highlight and compare. We've got a head-to-head you can break down for us.
Yeah, Emocore versus Averona, and it's not really because of their positions that they played on Train, it was more because Emocore and Averona are set up to close rounds, and Emocore was definitely doing that for CS2 News Ladies. 22 kills. I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of output, but it was also her individual decision making to go and take space by herself. She was being given a lot of responsibility, and I feel like that's what DMS needs to give over to Averona. Allow her to go and explore different areas of the map, go and find these multi-kills because she is good for it. And I compare these two because I do think they do play in similar ways, and I want to see a bit more out of Averona. A quiet second half, but it was quiet across the board for DMS just in general in that Train game. But yeah, I really do think Averona could be playing very similarly to the way Emocore was.
Yeah, and Averona, she came into this series, 1.46 or something ridiculous average rating across the season so far. So kind of expected her to be fragging out at the same sort of level, but Emocore has been the surprise, I think, for us. Kind of a lot of known entities on this team, but Emocore is not one I think we've really seen throughout the ESL Impact circuit before, and brilliant to see her really having so much impact in a debut game on the stream. Yeah.
And look, that was Train. That was the CS2 Ladies map pick. We now go on to Ancient, which, again, CS2 News Ladies do play this quite a lot, but you're entering familiar territory, I think, for DMS now and onwards for the Veto. But Dust 2 does have me a little bit anxious because there were some sharp shots being hit by Emocore, Visbal, and Abika. So if we get to Dust 2, we can start having those conversations. We're not there yet. We need to get by Ancient. It's DMS's map pick coming up after the break.
Street lights turned on hours ago. You've been here 3 nights in a row. I feel like an afterthought, but still I open the door. No matter how much you adore me, right before the dawn
drive through the night, cruising on the way to paradise. Jump right in, baby, let's go. Let's go. Drums on, bass on the radio. You and me will drive through the night, cruising on the way to paradise. Jump right in, baby, let's go. Let's go. Don't you know I feel you all around me? No, I can't control it. Never wanna let your guard come down. Where your heart and soul is. Talk to me, baby, do you feel like something's wrong? I just wanna lift you up, hold you in my arms. I'm gonna need you to say it. I can't read your mind. I can't take it let up with the plan. Don't you waste my time. Why can't you ever meet me halfway, baby? We're running in circles. After a while it feels like foul play, baby. We're demons and angels. Feel it spilling over. You've gotta cry just a little. Cry before you let it go. Gotta take a moment, then move on. Leave the past behind you. You've gotta die just a little. Die before you learn to live. Let the magic find you and go on. And you might fall down a little, get back up again, fake it till you make it, and don't have to play pretend. Get into your flow, come on, let it show. There you go. Ah, 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 ah.
An impressive showing on map 1 for CS2News Ladies. They take their pick of Train Brand, and this was kind of the, I guess, upset map coming into this series. Do you think they have a chance here on Ancient DMS's pick?
Yeah, they absolutely do. Like they play this map quite a lot, and I think for DMS, look, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt on Train because it was still a close game, but it didn't feel like the same DMS that has been here all season. It felt like they were making fundamental mistakes. It felt like maybe the comms were a little bit off at times, but on a map like Ancient, it's going to be a lot harder for CS2News Ladies, but if they keep bringing the same firepower and the same cohesion that we saw on Train, then there's every chance we could see this being a 2-0.
Yeah, Ancient's a map where, you can really kind of just frag out if you're feeling yourself right. There's a lot of opportunities to take those duels. And you mentioned it's been a pretty decent one. I think this was the map that they went 11-13 up against Prototype Blaze, if I'm not mistaken. That was the one they lost. But yeah, they've had some pretty decent wins on it as well. Under the one-day banner, they beat out Vamos, which obviously went on to become Spray and Slay, although I think Spray and Slay got their revenge in the actual official league the other week. But